All right, everyone. It is Friday, and what does that mean? It is time for manufacturing e-commerce success. We are on today at a special time because our very own Curt Anderson is live. Where today? Where you say? At
I'm
the
in
Alaska
I'm in
MEP.
New York. Oh wait, yes, I'm in Alaska. Dude, I forgot where I am. Yeah, I'm in Alaska today. I'm not in, like I'm so discombobulated, Damon. Like I don't even know what day it is today. Dude, what day is today? So
There you
it's
go.
like I don't know what time it is. If you look out here, like the sun just came up like a little while ago. Like the sun
Yeah.
doesn't rise until like 9:15 or something like that. So
Yeah.
Damon, happy Friday, man. How are you, dude?
I'm doing great, man. I'm excited for this. So we got the people. We got people from the Alaska MEP. We've got some entrepreneurs up there in Alaska. You're up there doing some great things. I'm excited to hear about it this week and share it with everyone on LinkedIn. So let's get going, man. I'm
All right, bro,
excited.
let's do some introduction. So, guys, we're up here at the Alaska MEP. That's a manufacturing extension partnership for all the kids out there. And we're just having an absolute blast, right? University of Alaska. And so this wonderful, dynamic, incredible, wonderful human being across the table from me is the one and only Dr. Alyssa Rodrigues. Dr. Alyssa, how are you?
I'm doing good. I'm really excited to be here this
God,
morning.
and we had
I'm so
an
glad to have
amazing
you
week
here.
this year.
Yeah.
Dude, can you believe they invited me to Alaska? I don't know. They might be throwing me out here soon. I don't know if I'll be back or not, but so we'll see how that goes. So we have Dr. Alyssa here in the house. We have my dear buddy, my friend, the one and only. She's an East Coast gal that just kind of wandered the country. She ended up here in Alaska somehow. She's a nurse by trade and just a fearless entrepreneur by heart, and she's making great products. We just talked with her a month ago, 2 months,
Yeah.
like a month ago today or something like that, right?
Yeah.
So Virginia Lynn Peterson's in the house. She is the founder and the mother and the brainchild of Swoop, right? Lynn, happy Friday to you.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Absolutely. So, all right, moving around the table, man, we have a veteran in the house. As a matter of fact, we have a couple veterans that we're going to talk to here. So we have my friend Ross. Ross Spencer is here. He is just a relentless entrepreneur. He has this great product we're going to talk about. He was in the Marine Corps. Ross, thank you for your service, brother. How are you today?
Absolutely.
Happy Friday.
I'm doing wonderful. Thank you.
Oh my God. Are we? I'm so excited. Okay. Now,
No doubt.
if I'm going to be able to get around the table or not, wait, hey, David, I got to check my pacemaker real quick.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's okay. So this is my dear friend, my buddy, another veteran. She's a war hero. She served proudly in Iraq. So we've got two great veterans here. And so she is the founder, co-founder. If you remember, we have Lacey. Lacey couldn't be with us today, but we have Megan Militello. She's the founder, president, brainchild, the think tank behind Elevated Oats. Megan, what is up, girl?
Lovely to be here.
All right. We're going to dig in. So first off, I want to start with Dr. Alyssa yesterday. Man, she put on, Damon, she knows how to throw a wild party, man. Let me tell you. We were in Kenai Peninsula. We were at the MEP. It was the manufacturing roadshow, dude. It was just absolutely phenomenal. The manufacturing roadshow in the Kenai Peninsula. Dr. Alyssa, tell Damon what went on yesterday.
So we were in Soldotna, and we had a handful of manufacturers come. We were lucky enough to have some stakeholders. We had folks from Senator Murkowski's office and Senator Sullivan's office, and then we had some of our state representatives there to all get together and talk about manufacturing. And so our manufacturers were there to learn best practices on a handful of different topics. Curt gave a fantastic presentation about how they could really hit it out of the park with e-commerce. And then our stakeholders, we got together and we talked about how we can advance manufacturing in Alaska. We took some really cool tours too. We saw Kenai River Brewing, and then we went and saw Davis Block and Concrete, which is probably the coolest concrete manufacturer you'll ever meet. And we had a really great time. The weather was fantastic.
Right.
It was a perfect day.
It was phenomenal. So Damon, I'll go through my pictures. Ready? So this was me on the plane. And then I'm just teasing. All right. Well, David, I'm going to bore you my pictures tomorrow. I'm going to Damon's house tomorrow. So David, I'll give you the pictures. And it was phenomenal. So we took a plane from Anchorage down to the Kenai Peninsula. It was 6 a.m. You know how the view is at 6 a.m? It was like this.
Yeah, I was going to say.
It was pitch black. I didn't see a thing. I was really bummed out, but we got there. It was amazing. Dr. Alyssa, Sammy Jo, if you recall, their intern Peyton's not an intern anymore. is she?
She is. She's
on
almost
the turn?
there.
Okay.
We've got our fingers crossed.
So, man, they had a great group of, they had entrepreneurs, they had manufacturers, as she said, a lot of gentlemen from the president's or the governor's office was actually even there.
Wow.
Man, he was killing me yesterday on the plane. All right. So anyway, that was another story. I'll share that one with you too. But let's go down the table. Liz.
Yeah.
Okay, talk to us. You were just at an amazing trade show this
Yep.
week. You were down in Nashville. You're in the lower. How did it feel being back in the lower 48?
Oh, it was warm and sunny.
Forgot how that
It was
feels.
so nice, and
Yeah.
the barbecue was really good.
Good
So,
barbecue.
Yeah.
So, all right. So, tell everybody about your company. I know you were on last month, but anybody not familiar with Swoop, tell everybody about this awesome product, this awesome company that you've put on the market. And then let's talk about the trade show this week.
All right. So, story in short, I'm a nurse. I've been a nurse for going on 20 years, and I couldn't find a bra that I like to wear to work. So I designed my own. So what makes ours a little bit different is kind of the comfort and the fun that goes with it. So no wires, rings and sliders are in the front. It's super soft against the skin, and it's just all sorts of different fun patterns to put underneath your scrubs.
That's right.
So our goal is to have, or as many as we can, every female nurse wearing our undergarments. And so the trade show I went to was called URA, Uniform Retailer Association. And I never would have made it there without this group here. You guys have been so phenomenal in helping. But went down there to target the scrub industry. And it was a mix, or mostly independent scrub shop owners who were doing the buying. So it was super successful for us. It was new and bling blingy for them for sure. A lot of interesting comments, and I felt like walking away, it was a really good show for us.
Awesome. So you went with a nice sense of confidence and excitement, and you're getting great feedback. What was a big takeaway from the show? Like, what's kind of buzz at the show? People are now traveling again finally and getting out in person. So what was like a big takeaway just from that aspect of like just kind of people being out? And then secondly, like what were some of the comments that you were hearing about your product and stuff?
I think being new at a trade show, which I think if you take a breath and sit back, everybody's going to say this was so new for that industry, right? Yeah. So this whole idea to purchase bras to sell to their clients, there's definitely, I don't know if convincing was the right word because everybody was very intrigued, but I think the idea of them making that final leap needed some talking through, right? Okay. So it's like, what percentage of the people who shop in your store are female, right? And what percentage of them wear a bra to work? Right. And that's probably about 100%. I mean, there are probably a few girls that don't. And girls have to buy bras somewhere. So why wouldn't they be in a bra that was designed by a nurse?
Right.
And once we had that conversation, everybody was like, ooh.
Yeah.
So, but I think too, that was my very first trade show. I've been to a trade show as an attendee, but never as a vendor.
Yeah.
It was really scary.
Yeah. So comfort zone. Right?
Yeah. Oh, 100% out of my comfort zone.
Yeah.
And, got there, did it. And I kept telling myself it's, I felt like I was exactly where I should be as far as the nerves went.
Yeah.
I just felt like once I get in it and start doing it and get that pitch down and start hearing that feedback, I'm going to be okay. And that's exactly how it went. So by day 2, no big deal. Yes.
Isn't that awesome? I mean, Damon, what an inspiration. And when you think about, and I did the same thing. I'm saying, hey, enough about these guys, Damon. Let's talk about me for a minute, right? Just kidding. So as you know, I went to Chicago for the MEP conference and met Dr. Alyssa for the first time. Like she's standing there minding her own business. All of a sudden, like this creepy bald guy comes running, sprinting at her, trying to hug her. And then she realized it was me. But anyway, that's another story.
Brings out the bear spray.
Yeah, exactly. She broke out the bear spray. That was, it didn't work. I still went through it. But anyway, that's another story. But the thing is, when you get out of your comfort zone, like Lynn's describing, it's just, it's like, man, what are people going to think? Can I do this? So again, if you guys, any entrepreneurs out there, and we have 3 just such great inspirational stories here right now. So let's talk about, and here's the great thing about yesterday. We had great, so we're down the Kenai Peninsula. So if you're not familiar with the geography here, so like Anchorage is up here, Kenai's down here somewhere, right?
You've got your map.
Yeah.
There's your map of Alaska.
So it's right here, right? It's right here. Here's Alaska right there in Lynn's hand, right? So the thing is, we go down to Kenai, and it's all these entrepreneurs. And what was a consistent theme? There was a problem. Nobody had the solution, so they solved it themselves, and they put a product on the market. And so that's exactly what Lynn did. And now we're going to slide into our friend, this veteran, this amazing, what a handsome guy he is down there, right?
Yeah. I want to just mention, we got a lot of people here today. I wanted to mention because you said something about, we got Gail here today, Gail Robertson. She talks about this and about people being nervous and she always says, just remember, those people are probably looking at you going, wow, that person's brave to be there. And they're thinking about that. They're not worrying about the clothes you got on. They're thinking that, how brave are you to be there? And we got Agbo. I hope I pronounced your name right. But here's somebody that we know.
Well, Don. So the thing, I sent Don an email telling him I was going to be here. Don, we'll have to talk. Maybe you didn't get it. But yes, I'm in Anchorage.
Yeah, he's in Anchorage. And then we got Whitney here with us today.
Hey, Whitney's down in Houston. So guys, happy Friday. Thanks for joining us. We got Ingor. So guys, and boy, if you're out there, give us a big hello.
Tell us where you're listening from, and we'll get you on the screen here because we are live from the Alaska MEP, and Curt is with the Alyssa from the Alaska MEP and these other great entrepreneurs from the state of Alaska. This is awesome.
This is phenomenal. So all right, so let's talk about my dear buddy Ross Spencer, his handsome devil down at the end of the table. So Ross, welcome to the program. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. She's a good looking guy. All right, so anyway. He has created this amazing, incredible product. Damon, are you sitting down for this?
I am.
Okay. I want to make sure you're sitting down. Let's go ahead. Let's hear about your business. This product.
I created a toolbox that attaches to the top of fiberglass step ladders. It is not the first iteration of a product out there to hold your tools while you're on step ladders, but I was not happy with the one that was currently out there. I have spent time and years in trades. I have trade work, uncles and father and cousins and everybody, you name it, been up and down the ladder 1,000 times, and I just got tired of it. So I started with an idea, and originally, it's really interesting to hear everybody else's stories. Originally, it was Ross. Other people invent things. Other people make products. Other people get patents. Other people go to market. That's not you. But over time, I started with a little wooden product I made in my backyard and downgraded to cardboard because it was easier to work with. And then I ended up making my own plastic representation of what I call the Apex ladder box. And I just received my patent on it in August.
Nice.
To test the market, I went to the National Hardware Show in Las Vegas last fall, and just resounding feedback of both end users, wholesalers, big box stores, just people love it. And the overwhelming response that I got back is, can I buy this? No, go make this. I want to buy this. I want to carry this on my shelves. So then again, it was, well, Ross, you don't make products. You don't know how to. So it was starting the process over. Okay, well, how do I move forward with that? So and then I actually pitched it here through the College of Business at UAA, and everybody loved it again. We took second place there. We had some real stiff competition, but so I'm here now trying to learn from the best. I have a prototype that I'm super happy with, a CAD file I'm super happy with, and we are just touching how and what it's going to look like to manufacture and get this to store shelves or online so people can start to use it and save time going up and down the ladders. So
Awesome.
Damon.
Yeah. That's all I'm saying. That's good stuff right there.
That's good stuff. As a matter of fact, talk about good stuff. Lynn bought some baked goods from like the best bakery right now. But we're taking a moment of silence, just of like, let's just savor what Ross just dropped right there. There was a lot of take in. So Ross, on our show, we have little moments of silence. That was a moment of silence right there. So dude. Okay, so Damon, here's a new line. Be the other people. How, guys, when you're out there and you have a dream, you have an inspiration, a vision, something that you want to accomplish, right? And somebody says, "Oh, Ross, that's somebody else. Somebody else is, they're going to solve that. They're going to do that." And look what Ross does, right? Ross, for a second. All right. How do you take it to the next level? So, like, we've all had that dream, sitting around with your buddies, you got the fire napkin, like, here's an idea. How do you go from idea to actually like brainchild? Here, like, how do you birth this thing? Like, walk us through that process for anybody out there saying like, "Hey, I want to be like Ross."
Well, that's tricky. I think for me it was a burning desire just to go in my backyard and decide if there was something better, if I could create something better than what was there. And it was just tinkering. It was I think the initial start was proving to myself that I wasn't barking up the wrong tree. There was actual a pain, a customer pain, which is what we all start with.
Yeah.
And there's a solution that I thought that I had, and I needed to decide if I could really provide a solution or not. And moving on from there, I had a lot of support from my wife and family and father and people, close to me that were like, that you're not crazy. This is something you can do.
Yeah.
If I was put between two decisions, I could kind of bounce some ideas off of people and get positive feedback. And I've taken all of that help to its max and as far as we can go. We are approaching waters I've not been down before.
Nice.
This is my first time here. I jumped right into the deep end. So as far as getting product from where I have it to market, that is what I am here to learn and look forward to, going down that path.
Man, how about a little round of applause for Ross?
No doubt.
Summer well, Damon. So here's the cool thing. So we're at University of Alaska, the building we're in. So this is we're in a conference room, but this is Alyssa's hangout. So this is like all economic development goes on right here, man. It's SBDC, the Small Business Development Center, is right next door. Alyssa's down the hall. Her, Sammy Jo, her team, Manufacturing Extension Partnership. So the great thing is as an entrepreneur, you are absolutely not alone. Like you feel like you're alone, if your friends, family, whatever, they're a bunch of civil servants, you're like, man, nobody gets it. They don't understand it. Boy, go to your local MEP, go to your local SBDC, and boy, you're just surrounded by all sorts of energy. So speaking of energy, Damon, how about this one over here, right?
Yeah.
Okay, Megan Melitello, she is the founder of Elevated Oats, man. I got to spend quality time with Megan the other night. I'm telling you, we had a blast. Megan, what is up, girl? All right, let's talk about, first off, Army veteran, war hero. We got into it the other night a little bit for folks that missed it. Just share a little bit. I need to get back to you about being a Marine, but let's talk a little bit about you going into the Army and sliding into entrepreneurship.
Yeah, I was in the military. I joined when I was 17, air traffic control. That's where me and my business partner met each other. First deployment, I was only 18 and did 6 years, right? 6 years in the Army. Air traffic is a very lucrative career and I really enjoyed it. I did the DOD, I did the FAA, but ultimately it wasn't giving me the growth that I wanted. And then I was watching all of these people around me eat just not good food, right?
Yeah.
Everybody's eating meat, mac salad, and rice. There's no vegetables. There's no color. It's not healthy. It's not healthy. And so I kind of tried to bring this into an industry full of men that literally sat in chairs all day. And I just kind of leaned into that. I got certified as a personal trainer. The food was really my passion. So I started selling salads on the side, and granola was like this little bonus. I'm like, eat this as a snack with some yogurt. And then when my life kind of changed and I left Hawaii, moved to Alaska in my dad's basement, it's kind of like I didn't have anything else to lose. I already walked away from everything. So why not go for the thing that I really loved and try to help people become better people?
Yeah. Okay, awesome. So Megan, my question to you is, you go back to, we talked about this a little bit the other night, so I'm going to go back there, so it won't be a shocking question, but 10 years ago, was it 10 years ago or so, give or take, right? Since you left that service, right?
Oh man, yeah, it's been
10 years, man. Time
12.
flies when you're having fun. So if you were to go back and talk to yourself 10 years ago as a brand new entrepreneur, what would you say?
Oh, okay. So me and Lacey actually talked about this too, but I think I said yesterday, it's a marathon, not a race, right?
Yeah.
Things. It's a marathon, it's not a race.
Yeah.
Do not let perfection hold you back, right?
No.
Perfection is the enemy of progress. And build a community sooner.
Build a community.
Build a community sooner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's huge. And we've got a bunch more people in here. First of all, we got Matt Guzzi. He's always wondering where the Packer fans are. Don't know if they have Packer fans in Alaska. I think they're all Seahawks fans.
I was with one yesterday.
You're with one. So there are some. So Matt, there are some Packer fans.
Yeah,
in
I was with a Vikings
Alaska.
fan, Packers fan. I got yelled at for being from Buffalo and all that. But
So
anyway,
annoying.
That's great. That's great. But then we got Molly here. I don't know. Does anybody know?
Hey, we got a Buffalo Bills fan right here.
Does anybody know Molly? She's starting in food manufacturing in Chugiak. Is that how you say it?
Wow. Yeah, that is how you say it.
Hey,
Go, David.
Molly, so you need to connect with Dr. Alyssa. So you know what we need to do? We need to get everybody's
Hey.
about.
Dr. Alyssa is acting like I'm surprised. I've been in Anchorage. I've been around a few times in Alaska. I've been to Juneau. I've been to quite a few places. And but yeah, it is to understand the pronunciations of the Northwest and the Northwest as in their cities is tough. It's tough.
Absolutely. So she's making Molly Biz cookies, it looks like.
Molly Biz cookies. Yeah.
I've heard of them. I've heard of you.
Okay.
Nice. We got her listening today. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Perfect. So everybody out here, you guys need to connect with these guys. So let's go in. So I'm going around the table, Dr. Alyssa. So all right. So we've got a new entrepreneur out there. We've got Don. We've got great entrepreneurs here. Somebody's not familiar with the MEP. Like, what's this MEP you guys keep talking about? Like, share a little bit. Like, what are the services that you guys provide? And maybe Lynn and Megan, we can talk about like your experience, but talk a little bit about the MEP for folks out there that are new to the MEP.
Yeah, so the MEP exists to help manufacturers. So really that is our mission, is to help manufacturers in whatever way they might need. We kind of have our core services, and those are e-commerce. We do a lot with lean manufacturing to make you as efficient as possible, reduce waste, wasted cost, etc. We help folks with their supply chain is another of our core services. Especially right now, it's so challenging to get what you need when you need it. Yeah. Do you keep everything on hand and whatnot, or do you try to get it when you need it? ISO is another big one that we do, is helping people get those certifications that they need so that they can put out for the big jobs and actually get them. For a lot of the things that we make here, if you're not certified, you can't even bid on it. So that's another one of the big ones that we do is ISO certifications. But we do prototyping, and we help people with kind of anything a manufacturer might need. We're here to provide that assistance.
Yeah, it was awesome yesterday that the road show was hearing, different manufacturers that have worked with Alyssa and the team talk about their experiences and how wonderful they've been to work with. And again, just, not being in that silo, being on your own, to, having that network and that community. So Lynn, when you started out your business, what advice would you give to yourself when you first started Swoop? Now that you're a seasoned veteran entrepreneur, what would you tell yourself?
Don't let the fear stop you.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm still a big believer if nothing good or bad's ever going to happen to you if you don't take that risk.
Yeah.
And I think it's super scary to, the financial backing to it, and then the time commitment. And I mean, I think all of us can say, like, it is life-changing to start your business. Like, if I wish I had an on-off switch for my brain sometimes, because I've literally gone to bed and told my brain, stop thinking, just stop thinking. So I think that is, but don't let the fears scare you, because as the entrepreneur, you get to create it how you want it to be.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think there's a lot of things in life that are really scary, but I think that would be my advice. Just don't let the fears take you, hold you back.
Do you feel through the process, has it been gradual for you to kind of like reduce that, or like kind of get a more relentless, or, put some of those fears, concerns down, or if they creep back up, how do you like,
that's a really great question. And I think the answer to that would just be the fears kind of change, right?
Yeah.
So it's, now I can show up at a pop-up and like I've done it 100 times.
Yeah.
Not that I've done it 100, but I've done it so many times, it feels easy. But then, going to a trade show, that was the next step. So all of a sudden, those same fears I felt in the beginning. But I also think that that's life. Like that, I'm a believer too, let's challenge ourselves. Like, we don't ever stop growing as people or individuals. Right. And, here we are. It's like, just kind of keep doing it and trying to make like good decisions along the way. I think sometimes it's really important. Your head gets so filled with this thought, this path, and it's taking that step back or taking that breath and just slowing it down and just trying to make good choices along the way to kind of help with those fears.
Right.
So,
I love that. When you think about, like, say the Titans, the Ford, or, Gates, Bezos, whatever, the monster, you think about, they had a vision and solved a problem for a lot of people, and obviously became, but, even like the entrepreneurs we had yesterday down at Kenai, our entrepreneurs here, you know, when you have that one problem, just in what we hear is like, you know, who was it saying? Like, you know, if I helped one person,
Yeah.
I'm fixing my own problem. And if I help one more person, it's worth it. And then all of a sudden you help two, then you help three. And you're like, you know, just think of how many nurses or, you know, we talk about your soulmates, right? Those ideal customers of how many lives you could change of like, hey, I have a 12-hour shift and now I can be more comfortable thanks to Lynn, where, you know, and just like Ross was saying, you know, it's not, we don't always have to say someone else is going to do it. You know, somebody else is going to put the dishes out of the dishwasher. Somebody else is going to make the bed. Well, somebody's got to raise their hand and say, let's be entrepreneurs and start creating this new product. Now, Ross, my friend, you are a Marine. God bless you. Thank you for your service. Talk about going from the Marine Corps and kind of transitioning out back into as a civilian and now taking this leap of faith into entrepreneurship. Kind of walk us through that transition.
So I was a helicopter mechanic, which I loved, but I didn't see that being my career. So I moved back home to Wisconsin, which is Packer fan.
Nice.
And then I
right?
Yep. And then I think what people have kind of been keying in on is, you know, you can't be scared to be scared.
Can't be. Oh my God.
And what Lynn had said, and the way I kind of saw it, is you graduate to different levels of fear. And you first you're fearful to talk to other people, and I don't mean fear that's holding you back. I mean fear that's helping grow you.
Right.
You're scared to talk to you about my product.
Right.
And suddenly you get comfortable talking to the ones and twos, and you start talking to fives and tens, and then you have a trade show or you pitch or you do whatever. You're graduating levels of fear.
Yeah.
That really helps you grow. I graduated a level of fear and left Wisconsin and moved to Alaska to go to school. I had met the girl who's my wife in the Marines. She was also in the Marine Corps, and she was from Alaska. I knew that I wanted to go back to school. It was going to be a couple-year hitch. I wanted to know where I was going to go to school. And I came up here and visited. It was beautiful, and that's that. So, you know, it was that transition. And I did, while I was going to school, I did all of the trade work in the summer and as much as I could carry through the fall. And I was like, this has got to be something. And I wanted to clarify why not you has stuck in my brain. That's not me. My saying. I had heard a wonderful speaker, Colonel Nicole, actually had to pull her up, Malachowski.
Okay.
Phenomenal speaker. And that was what drove her through. You know, it's not you, Nicole. Other people do that, Nicole. And she's like, well, why not you? And that has stuck with me and kind of been, she framed what I think that entrepreneurs have in the back of their head and they can't put words to. She framed it beautifully. And that is just, you know, why not you? And, you know, something, if I went back and told myself, I've only been at this 5 years, I would say, hey, you're not alone. It seems like you are. It seems like you're the only one with a burning idea that's going on in the back of your head that you can't shut your brain off at night when you go to sleep. But that is just that entrepreneurial spirit, I really believe. And that just keeps us up at night thinking and moving forward. So I think all of those, the fear and the mindset is just what grows you and graduates you to the next level. So.
Drop the mic, dude.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It is.
So for anybody out there, man, why not you? You know,
why
like
not you?
Remember Winnie? We had Winnie, and Winnie's my sister from Queens, and Winnie had. She said, "We have a God-given obligation we have an obligation to exhaust our God-given talents." Okay, we believe in, but we have a moral obligation that if you have whatever your inspiration, your ideas, your gifts, that we should not conceal them and just, you know, don't let people be naysayers and just why not you? Yeah.
Yeah. And, you know, when the others around you are maybe questioning what you're doing, they're just trying to protect you. They don't want to see you do it, but when they don't see what you see. And that's the thing that stops a lot of people too, is, as you know, it could be your family, it could be your friends. You really want to do that, you know, it starts to do, but they don't see the vision that you do. And you guys have went past that. And you see the vision, and now you're starting to see the success of your vision from your vision. So it's very cool.
Yeah, I love it. And don't be scared of being scared. That's another, man.
Don't be scared of being scared. I wrote that down.
Today, Damon. So, all right, we're moving over to my dear friend Megan, and Megan's in a unique situation where we have a lot of solopreneurs, a lot of entrepreneurs. Megan has a partner, and Lacey is absolutely amazing. God, I love Lacey.
Same.
She is,
Same.
man, Lacey, hopefully you're out there somewhere, but she's just such a special breed. But I want to talk about partnerships, okay? So a little bit, Damon, so anybody out there, Damon is my growth and exit strategy specialist, right? You deal with all sorts of different business owners and what have you. And a lot of folks, sometimes we hear like, oh, don't do a partnership, or it gets a little messy, or partnerships can be harder than a divorce if it doesn't go well, so on and so forth. And these two are Army veterans, they're buddies. They became fierce friends. That's your tagline on your website. So just for anybody out there that either, maybe they don't want to go in business by themselves, or maybe they need a partner, just talk about your journey as a partner and how you and Lacey have made it work so far.
Yeah, I feel like I reined her in actually to it. It started out that way. It was like I had this idea and I paid Lacey to do my logo, right? I'm like, I need a logo. This is what I want to do. But we also were friends before that. So we would talk and we were helping each other through these personal things. But she just really understood what I wanted to create. And then her ideas were amazing on top of my ideas. So it was just this beautiful blend. And I'd be like, hey, I need some labels. Hey, I need a sticker. Can you make me I want this shirt to be designed like this. Yeah. And then it just came down. I mean, I can't do it alone.
You can't.
I can't do it alone. No matter what, you have to have a team, right? I mean, you could be a solo entrepreneur and like you're doing one thing, but the way that I wanted this to grow, like I know what my strengths are and I know what my weaknesses are. Right. And then it's like you build a team of people that have those strengths that you don't have so that you can come together and create something so beautiful. So man, her brand building has been huge for us. Like our brand is solid and that's just her thing, right? Like me being here, operations, or like the food and being like, we can put this combination together. And now that we've been doing it so long with each other, we spit ideas off of each other for these things. Like I'm like, hey, what if this said this on the package? Or she'll be like, well, what do you think about this on the package? Even though maybe that's not my specialty, I am like a customer, right? Like, what am I looking at? It's another person to spit those ideas off of. Right. To sometimes I'll be like, what do you think about this? And then she'll be like, and I'm like, okay. But, like, thank you for not letting me waste my time, right? Because we're so full of ideas and we want to do so many things. Right. So it is nice to have that person too, to be able to rein you in. And that's part of the strengths, right? Right. The other person's strengths where we work together to create something big. Right. Put aside the egos too, like. Man,
all right. A lot to unpack right there. And Damon, you have a partner. And I tell you what's wonderful is when you have a partner who is not like you, too often, if you have a partner that's just like you, it can get a little challenging, like you need, whether good cop, bad cop, or what have you. And so what's wonderful is like how these two have partnered up and just done such an amazing job. A couple of things that I wanted to share real quick is, so these guys are famous. So we're down the Kenai Peninsula and I'm like, and so I was doing this little presentation thing and, Damon, I love doing presentations, right? I was a little fired up yesterday.
That's an understatement.
Lynn, you think it gets juicy on a webinar behind and this is my computer right here. Like this is my computer. Like I don't have five, he has 5 screens. I like this, they're seeing this is me in my basement. Like what you see, this is me in my basement right here, right? So, but when I'm in person, Damon, it gets a little juicy. But anyway, that's another story. So I'm showing elevated oats. Everybody down the Kenai, like, oh, we know Megan. So then I'm showing Swoop, or like, oh, we know Swoop. So I'm on the plane. I flew up from Chicago on Wednesday, right? But man, that flight went by. I'm like, I can't believe how fast it went, right? Got here no time. I'm sitting next to this woman. We start chatting. She's like, she goes, I'm a nurse. I'm like, hey, by any chance, my friend, Virginia Lynn Peterson? She's like, oh, I don't know. I go, let me show you her website. She knew some of your models on your, so she has all these nurses on. So you guys need to go to, all right, so rattle off, we got Swoop. You need to go to Swoop, wearswoop.com, right? Wearswoop.com. Ross, website yet?
I have
not yet.
Facebook page.
You got a Facebook page. What's the name of your business?
Apex, it's under Apex Ladder Box.
Apex ladder box. What was the other? You said blue collar.
Yep, that's my company and it's our product.
Okay, and then we've got elevatedoats.com. So I need to get those in the comment section, but so elevatedoats.com. We've got my dear friend Ross with Apex, and then we've got Wear Swoops. We want to check this out. But all right, Dr. Alyssa, I want to come over to you. So I was with Dr. Alyssa's boss yesterday. I know that like if I was Alyssa, I would have kept me as far away from her boss.
What were you thinking?
Was that you talk about risk, right? Like these guys have entrepreneurs. Like that was really. I was with her boss from 5 o'clock in the morning yesterday until like 6:30 last night, right? And she still has a like you haven't gotten fired yet.
Not yet. I'm waiting for the call.
You didn't get the pay slip. Okay. Don't answer the phone today. Don't check your voicemail, right? Man, her boss is amazing. Did we hit it off? We had an incredible time. Her boss is Christy Bell. Christy is she runs this entire department that we're in, and she worships Alyssa. Alyssa, talk about, all right, I want to talk about leadership for a second. Then I want to talk about, from a military standpoint, you as an entrepreneur, as a nurse, let's talk about leadership. So talk about you as a leader and kind of mentors, what's kind of helped shape your career to get you to this point, how important leadership, mentorship, we're talking about entrepreneurs that want to create a mentorship program. We're talking about the accountability or a buddy system with her and Lacey. So just talk about that leadership, mentorship, accountability. What's that mean to you?
I think a big part of it, and ring me in if I'm getting off track, is being able to see the example and see someone else who has done it. They maybe they have some of the same struggles that you have. They're dealing with some of the same things that you are,
right? And
they're showing you that this is possible. And you bring up Christy, who I think is a fantastic human and mentor and role model and those sorts of things. I knew her before I came over here, and I was able to see her as an example of what you could do and where you could kind of grow both in your career and personally and all those, and how you could balance the two and all those sorts of things. And so I think being able to see that example and have someone who you can look at and say, yeah, I can do that. But also, from that mentorship perspective and accountability, that they can also push you and encourage you and that sort of thing. And we were talking in the car this morning about Sammy Jo and how fantastic she did yesterday. And I remember when we started, talking about getting out from behind our computer screens and doing presentations and things like that, how much, she was up for the challenge, but the nerves were there big time. And then just a couple of weeks ago, she did a presentation that was an hour long, very nervous about it. And then when it was done, after we planned it out and whatnot, she was ecstatic at how well it went and how that kind of confidence builds onto you go to, one pop-up, you do a trade show, and then how much easier the next one is. She was a rock star yesterday. And so I think, we're talking with startups. We're also a very young organization. So we're just trying to get out there and we're small and we're scrappy and that sort of thing. And being able to see those examples pull from others. And in talking with other folks down on the Kenai about needing to be able to see that example of, I'm here, how do I get here? Who else has done this? How can we get there? There's not enough of a manufacturing community in Alaska. I think within our communities physically, we have a nice sense of community. But in terms of one manufacturer on the Kenai being connected with someone else who's doing something similar up here and that sort of thing, and being able to support each other and say, oh, I faced that challenge before. Let's, let me help you work through it and we mentor you through it. We still need to build that, and we're still working on that, I think.
And Damon, I got to see it firsthand. So again, my admiration for, she's so modest. She's just a great leader. She put together an amazing event yesterday. And when you talk about building that community, it was just in the passion that these Alaskans have for their communities, for their state, of just driving success. It is just so contagious. And again, her boss, just the way her boss speaks of Alyssa, her staff, and the leaders. And I'll tell you, we talk about this almost every week. Great leaders develop great leaders, and Dr. Alyssa is doing exactly that, creating leadership on her team and with her clients. And, and I got to see it firsthand. It was just absolutely amazing. Nice. I'm going to round of applause for Dr. Alyssa, man. And and creating this community here, you know.
Yeah, and you know, you talk about scrappy, right? You know, you're not in the middle of the manufacturing heart of the United States, and you do have to be scrappy, and you have logistical challenges, and you have other challenges that you got to deal with. But it doesn't mean you can't be successful. It just means you have to do it a little differently, and your community around you can help you. And that is the cool part about it. And the cool part about, like, Curt, you know, how you stop being the best kept secret and figuring out how to get your products known to the world. You know, that's the opportunity we have anymore. It's global. It's not just the US. It's not just the state or the community. And there's ways to do it. It's getting scrappy and doing it like you're showing people there. So that's cool.
Absolutely. And I tell you, like, the key word with leadership is what? Trust, right? It's like, you know, for a great, you know, we were talking about different situations or different work situations. And, you know, whenever there's a tough, challenging, Lynn, I'm sure you've had plenty of tough work situations. Like maybe, you know, Damon, we've talked about it, where how many people to say people don't leave companies. Typically they leave a boss, right? Or a supervisor. You know, it's those relationships, maybe a toxic relationship. But, you know, with entrepreneurship, it's, you know, you might not view yourself as a leader, like, hey, I'm trying to sell a widget, I'm trying to sell baked goods, a bra, you know, these different products or solutions, but it's about leadership and earning that trust. So, Lynn, my friend, let's talk about leadership. So leadership in your world, your space, like how, you know, you've been a great nurse. Man, Damon, how would you like to be a nurse through COVID the past 2 years? How about you're all right here, man, like being out in the trenches in the front. I'm sitting with all these heroes right here. Like, what a blessing, what an honor this is. But Lynn, talk about leadership over your career, like maybe folks that have like mentored you, you know, in your earlier days of being a nurse. Like, how have you carried that into your entrepreneurial journey?
Yeah. Well, that's just like such a big question, you know, to answer. It's like, it's a heavy one, right? Mm-hmm. Because there's been so many mentors in my life. And I think everybody, you know, I think there's a saying that, what can you learn from everybody around you, right? That sometimes there's this brief moment where you meet somebody and you're just kind of like, oh, whatever, our energy doesn't click or whatever, but there's always something to be learned from one another. So, you know, I'm going to go way, way back, even pre-nursing. Like, I honestly think leadership, one of the best jobs I've ever had was waiting tables. Yes. And I think it should be a requirement that everybody should wait tables at some point in time. And mostly because you're a leader of that day, right? It is your job to make sure that everybody is satisfied and everybody that's happy. And you got to remember the guacamole and the margaritas and, you know, everything's happening at once. So that multitasking that comes. I think that was like a huge, even though, you know, I wasn't the owner of the restaurant or anything, but there was just such leadership that came with having that job. Right. And that helped to make me a better nurse. And that helped to make me a better entrepreneur, because all the skills that I gained back to that one job I had during like high school into college, it was just huge for me. And I think now, as, you know, being a leader of my like own company, this last year for me, what I've really learned is the delegation pieces. That I can't do it all. And, you know, I kind of went into 2022 with my head down, knowing it was going to be a huge year and that I was going to be super busy, a lot busier than I wanted to be, and to give up part of my personal life to do it. But all of that was to set me up for 2023 so I could understand better what it is I needed to delegate. Yeah. So I think for me, watching others grow and watching what other companies are doing, and learning from all of the things that MEP has had to offer and all the people you have thrown into my life, talk about leadership, that has like really helped me. You know, I feel like we, you know, Alaska with our change of season, and that's just everywhere. But, you know, I'm already goal setting for 2023 and trying to get my delegation set up so I can begin that year as better balanced and a better entrepreneur.
Yeah. I love that. And what's great, Lynn, one more question is, you know, so say you're in Ross's, you know, you were with Ross's, right? And it's great, like when you surround yourself with those guides or those leaders that can, you know, like, hey, that person's a little bit further ahead. Like, Damon, think about the first time you and I did a live stream. And by the way, man, I can't do a live stream without you, dude. Like, it was just like Megan and I cannot do a live stream without you. So I did one with Alyssa in Chicago. And Jeanette is across like Curt, we can't hear you. We can't hear you. And Alyssa's like, hey, Curt, just turn the volume on the microphone up. Then I'm on with Megan. We're live. I didn't know if we're live. So I can't. We'll talk about it tomorrow.
We'll keep working on it.
Yeah, I need help, man. I just need so much help. But anyway, all right, so let's get into, so you're with but a lot of entrepreneurs that we were talking about yesterday, they want to get out of just being that solopreneur.
Yeah.
And that on their, how do I get my first hire? How do I get, how can I get beyond that hobby stage? How, any advice that you share, my respect and admiration for where you're at. How do you get from idea to just a little bit of a side hustle, a hobby, to I'm starting to get some momentum. I feel that I can turn this. Can you describe that?
Persistence and patience.
Nice.
I think that is key. Is that I'll use a simple example for my business. Is we do a lot of hand making and manufacturing, but trying to find somebody to cut fabric. Now, you may think that is the easiest thing out there, but let me tell you how many people.
Yeah.
But that's just it. I've just really identified that that's something I can't do anymore. We're way past me doing all the cutting and putting what we call kits to give to the people who do the sewing for us. That is something that I don't need to be doing and something that I can task out. And I had one person doing it, it didn't work out. Hired a second person, didn't work out. Third, fourth. Now we're on our fifth person in that role, and it's finally working out. But I think that's just it. And whatever that example is for you, being persistent and being patient, because when you know what it is you need to start delegating, you just need to hold on to that and make it happen.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah. Yep. That's all I'll say.
Just savoring it. Hang on. I got to check the pacemaker again. I know we're putting time. All right. Let's get over to my friend Ross. Ross, my friend, guys. If anybody's just joined us, you have to connect. Damn, shame on me. I didn't. You know what? I can't. When I'm on yours, I can't add in here, so I can't drop everybody's LinkedIn profile in here. But I would love for everybody to connect with these guys on LinkedIn. You will thank us later. These guys are amazing. They're incredible. I know you've already figured that out. I'm being Captain Obvious, but we're talking about leadership. So Ross, let's talk about, you're in the earlier stage of your entrepreneurial journey. Talk about your leadership, maybe mentors from the Marine Corps. You talk about family, dad, maybe high school. What are some mentors that you feel that are helping you at this stage that you feel that confidence coming into your entrepreneurial journey ahead of you?
Okay, boy, I think that I'm surrounded by more mentors than I ever realized, because I don't think I ever looked at some of the people that have kind of encouraged and helped me grow as mentors. Growing up. Definitely my dad, just entrepreneurial spirit through and through. He designed a product when he was probably my age and got a patent on it and tried to take it out. But it was a different world then. You're trying to go door to door and knock on, and you don't know how connected you are to other people when you were saying that, here's your strengths and here's where you're weak. Well, he didn't know how to find holes to fill in those weaknesses. And great product, but just didn't get a chance to get it out there really. So I see what he's gone and done through, and I learned from him. They say for parents, more is caught than taught. And I think that I caught more of his journey through that, and obviously his love and support now. And now I'm getting that through always through the military, your seniors and mentors. But I am in just an excellent program through UAA here now, the College of Business and Public Policy, and they have just welcomed me in with open arms. And since the school opened back up to live since COVID, it's just been every time I turn around, there's a connection event where you're meeting people in the public, just like I met Alyssa here and meeting you guys now. And it's just, in 6 months, I've met more people than I have in the last 4.5 years. It's been
awesome
on this entrepreneurial journey. It's been really incredible. So, and what am I learning from them? Everything I can. I can't pick one thing. I just, when I see how people interact and what they do, I'm just trying to take everything in and then apply what is applicable and hold on to what isn't currently.
Yeah.
So,
gosh, man, Damon, what a gift this is, and I think, wasn't it Mark Twain that said he couldn't believe how smart his father got when he left the house at 18 and he came back at 22 on how smart his father became, right?
Yeah.
So it's just, we all get a little smarter, more mature as we grow, and we realize like we had all this brilliance and wisdom of entrepreneurship ahead, right at our disposal, but it takes us to age up and wise up to take it all in. So all right, I know we're coming into time. I want to turn to my dear friend Megan, again, war hero. She was in the Army for many years and now just a relentless entrepreneur with elevated oats. We're talking about leadership. Let's talk about how do you feel that leadership is, like from your walk of life, how it's applying into your entrepreneurial journey with elevated oats, whether it's with Lacey, vendors, customers, suppliers. You now have staff. You're right. It sounds like you guys are at a very similar stage. We're like, I had a wonderful tour the other night about notes, and she's like, I'm not doing this task anymore. I have somebody comes in and does this. I don't do this anymore. She's on automation. Damon, she has a bunch of machinery and equipment now. So like things that she did by hand.
Yeah.
Hop on that, Megan, because I could go on and on how amazing that tour was.
Cool.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Talk about leadership from mentors. We talked a little bit the other night, but share that with us.
Yeah, well, I would say like having military experience is so amazing because how we're drilled, leadership is trained into us, right? Like from day one, that's just part of it. And the mission, what leadership stands for, like you're memorizing all of these things. You have integrity, right? You're being taught, like if you see something, pick it up. Because it's not just like leadership of other people or like these operations, but leadership of yourself, having this self-discipline, like just taking my vitamins. Like here in Alaska, the sun doesn't come out. Taking vitamin D is very important, people. If you're not taking it yet, start taking your vitamin D, right? But like that's an important, like I do that for me to have like the most success that I can have. So I do that in all the areas of my life. And that's just constant practice, constant training, constant seeing people do it in front of you, seeing what works, what doesn't work, prioritizing, what are the priorities? But yeah, it's like, how can I make this successful? And we know that we're the driving, we have only so many people that are the driving force. If I'm not doing anything, that's like one peg off of this wheel, like off of the truck, right? Going forward, you can't do that. You have to have all of these pieces. So we have to have self-leadership to be able to say, hey, like I'm overwhelmed right now. I can't handle this extra project to my people, even though maybe I'm like the boss, right? Like that's important for all of us to be on the same page and know where we have to step up. Yeah, it's just constant training. And what's awesome, you met Corey. What's awesome is we've had Corey for a year now, since like a year and a half. He started as an intern. And then he like was kind of an assistant and did some like fulfillment for us. And now we have him as our kitchen like production manager. Yeah. He handles all of the bakes. I'm like, okay, but it's been training. Something that was hard for me as an entrepreneur was being like, okay, you're gonna do this position, but maybe they don't know how to, especially if you're a startup company, you have to hire someone that's maybe not gonna get paid as much. You have to teach them the ways or else it's not gonna happen the way you want it to. So I've watched him blossom into this leader. Now he manages the 2 part-time people. I don't have to do it, which is amazing. And we'll get together for our like lunch and learns. And he's like, all right, guys, you've been here now for 6 weeks. And I'm like, okay, Corey, okay. So like seeing that leadership also go into someone else too, and like how they've grown, it's just, yeah, it's all connected. It's all connected.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So Damon, I know we're coming into time, man. And man, this one over here. So, what was phenomenal is we were talking the other night. We had a great jam session. We were talking like strategic planning the other night. What an honor and blessing and privilege to be part of, being part of this, just to be here in Alaska, Damon. Great. Who thought that would even happen? But, to talk about let's takeaways and then we'll wind down. The self-discipline, the self-discipline, right? Integrity. We had a great line the other night. Remember our line the other night?
What was it?
Peace, happiness and profitability. Peace, happiness, and profitability. Boy, profitability really brings a lot of peace and happiness.
Yeah, yeah, it helps.
So, big takeaway for today is don't be scared to be scared, right?
Yeah.
And like Lynn, you said, like, what's the worst that can happen? What's the worst that can happen? We were talking about Curt Golden. Remember, we had Curt Golden on our show, founder and CEO of Hint Water, great relentless entrepreneur. She took an idea and turned it into a 9-figure business.
Yeah.
An idea into a 9-figure business. So I know we're at the clock here. I'm going to go around the table. We're going to wind down. Parting thoughts, words of wisdom, last things that we want to leave for the folks here. So Dr. Alyssa Rodrigues, my buddy, last words for entrepreneurs, manufacturers out there. What are your last thoughts of advice, suggestions, inspiration that you want to share?
Wow, I don't know. I got so much from everybody else today, and I really love that idea of not letting fear stop you, which I think, it's not super unique. I think we hear it a lot, but I think it's worth a constant reminder. And I also, what Ross was saying about kind of having all that support around you. I think when you can find your people, you feel supported, and then taking those risks and doing the scary things don't seem as scary. Mm-hmm. So yeah, find your people. I'll do that one. Find your people.
Find your people. And we're just meeting Ross, but these guys are big adventurous hikers, and just, you go out on a hike, but if you're by yourself, you might be a little bit more, timid. But boy, if we're out together, like, hey, Lynn, you got it. Hey, Curt, come on, let's go. It's rooting each other on. Lynn, words of wisdom, inspiration.
I'm going to just tag on to that. Reach out to the MEP and the SBDC. If you have an idea and you just can't really figure out how to put it together, I can't express enough. Like, there is no way I would be sitting around this table with such amazing people if it wasn't for you guys. And I know this is MEP sponsored, and I don't mean for it to be such a plug, but I can't tell you enough. Like, I've had so much great hand holding, and that feeling of, that's kind of been a theme, the not being scared and the hand holding. Like, you're not alone. These people, this is what their job is to help hand hold us and to help get our ideas out there. So just know that there's people out there.
Ross, my friend, words of wisdom.
I think I'll keep piggybacking. Why not now?
Why not now?
Yeah.
Dropping it. Why not you? And why not now? Right?
Yep.
Tomorrow's not a day of the week, is it, Damon?
No, it's not. Curt comes up with one.
Come on. What do we got tomorrow? Yeah. That's not mine. Somebody gave it. All right. Okay. Megan, words of wisdom, parting thoughts for our loved ones out there.
Day one or one day?
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
We were doing day things, so
Say it again.
Yeah.
Day one or one day?
Damon, dude, I don't know what I did. It was not this life. I don't know what I did in a previous life to deserve this moment, this opportunity with these guys. It was something from a previous life, because this life definitely didn't deserve this. So I can't describe what an incredible blessing, what an honor, what a privilege. We goof around a lot, but the love, the respect that I have for these peeps right here, man. This is my new bestie down at the end of the table here. This one over here, man. She's changed my life. I'm on record. We're on live. This is on YouTube. This is on Twitter. Dude, I'm telling you, I cannot express my gratitude. I don't have words for you.
Gotcha.
You are so, all right. Damon, we're gonna have a big love fest. We're gonna go out to lunch, get some Alaskan seafood or something. So
there you go.
My friend, what do you got out there, dude?
What's that?
What parting thoughts? I'm here with you. I need to do this every Friday.
I'm here with you. I think so. I think it'd be great. But I'm just saying, I'm with you. I mean, Dr. Alyssa, thank you so much for everything you guys are doing there for manufacturing. I just want to say thanks to the MEPs across the United States. I mean, I just get so fired up to see how much they're helping people develop their ideals, help manufacturers get better, be more competitive globally and in the United States. Because, manufacturers are where the cool kids are coming. If you're out here already, you're missing out. And we're just trying to show that to other people. And I feel blessed that we get to do that. because this is fun.
Absolutely. So Damon, you know what? So I'm I don't know if you guys know this. So I'm 53.99999.
I know.
Dude, where am I spending my birthday tomorrow with, huh? That handsome guy right there, huh? That I get to hang out with Damon and his wife. So Damon, brother, I'm coming at you tomorrow, whether you're like, how's that? So, all right. So, hey, our tagline, our closing, be someone's inspiration. My goodness gracious. If you weren't inspired today, man, we need to check your pacemaker, right? So this was just awesome. What a gift. So Dr. Alyssa, thank you. Lynn.
Thank you.
Ross, my new bestie, this one, right? So Uncle Curt's closing out. So, all right, Damon, I'll see you tomorrow, brother. God bless everybody. Yes. Be someone's inspiration, just like these amazing people here.
Thank you. Thank you from the Alaska MEP. Thanks to all the entrepreneurs we got in the room. And then my other.
I was with Candy yesterday. Candy just
coming up. We got Alan. We got Molly. Molly's setting up a trade school. Woo! Look at that. We got Ingor, everybody else that stopped. Don.
Don. You're with Candy. I gave Candy a big hug yesterday, man. Got to meet her. It's just
awesome. Awesome.
Like Liz and I have been just jamming together for ages. We get to meet each other in person. So, Damon, I know you need to run, dude. So
good stuff. Hey, have a great day, everyone. We will be back again next week with another manufacturing e-commerce success series show. And who knows, we might even have Curt live on the street somewhere else.
Who knows where instead of where's Waldo, where's Curt, right? You never
where's
know
Curt? We're going to do it. See you later, everyone.
Your house, wherever you are out there, right?
Have a great one.
See you, brother.